Hey Ben, how you doing? My name is Rigo Ramirez. I had a question. I want to know who you think the biggest trade pieces heading into these next couple weeks are going to be. Like, who do you see more than likely moving to another team? Yeah, I'm a huge fan, big follower. Let me know. Bye.
Uh, Perfect. Thank you for the question. Talking about trade candidates, it is getting to that time of the year where we do need to start talking about this. I do think there's some big names out there that could potentially be available. But look, once we get towards the trade deadline and start talking about this is a big deal. So a lot of times what I do is I run down a list. The worst teams in baseball. Let me look at the worst teams in baseball. Who are the best players on the worst teams? So then if you do that right there, you come up with some names. And then you look at what is most important. What are teams looking for? And a lot of times it's that pitcher to send them over the top. That pitcher that's going to make the biggest difference. I think of a few names in years past that have gone on to new teams for a little while and made a big impact. I think of CC Sabathia when he went to the Brewers for that one postseason and was legendary. I think my brother when he got traded towards the end of the year to the Astros and goes on to help them win a World Series. There's a lot of pitchers that end up making huge impacts here. When I think of players themselves, who am I thinking of? Well, one, I think there could be a few players out of Colorado that make a big impact. John Gray, one, who's a good pitcher, a little underrated pitcher out there. One, because he's in Colorado where the ball flies. I think John Gray is a good pitcher and could be a good pickup for a team. A big one, however, position player, shortstop, Trevor Story. I think Trevor Story could be a huge piece that is moved at the trade deadline. I could see a team picking him up like maybe the Yankees who need a boost somewhere, who already have a talented team, but could use some help. Could use some help there. And another big name that I think could be moved, Max Scherzer. There hasn't been a ton of talk about it yet. And then he goes down with this little injury. When I first heard his name, other than my thought that Max Scherzer could be traded, I heard his name last week, and he ends up getting hurt and tweaked a little something, and that kind of put a wrench in it. But by all accounts, he's back. He's about to come back and pitch this coming week. So I think that could be the biggest piece of all. When you think of a big trade piece for a team that's going to be in the postseason, I think pitcher, whether it be a starter or a reliever. And the biggest one out there on a team that's not great that could be moved, Max Scherzer. So thank you for the question. Rick, hit me with the next one.
Hello, Ben. How you doing? This is David Morgell. I'm a longtime fan. I know you remember you with the Tigers and everything. I listen to your podcast. Is all the great players the Tigers have traded away for nothing in return. Most recent examples are your brother. And look at Nick Castellanos. He's leading the league in everything, and we got absolutely nothing for him. Same with J.D. Martinez and a whole bunch of others. It basically traded away an all-star team for nothing. I'm curious on what your thoughts may be with respect to an objective opinion. Is their rebuild working? I think after 6 years of Al Avila being general manager, you would think some of his prospects he drafted outside of KZ Mize and Skubal would be up with the major league team by now. So that's kind of my thought.
Perfect. Thank you for the question. It is about the Detroit Tigers rebuild. Look, you say after 6 years or so, a lot of these guys you would think would be in the big leagues, and I don't necessarily know if rebuilds take time. It doesn't happen overnight. Here's my thing with the Detroit Tigers. They're coming, and you're starting to see flashes of it. You're starting to see flashes of it in the big leagues with guys like Casey Mize, who has turned into a really good pitcher. In the month of May, he was one of the best pitchers in baseball. So what you look for when you're in a rebuild is who are going to be guys on our team and just seeing flashes of what could be. All you want to do is see flashes of, can we turn this thing around soon? And more with the Detroit Tigers, you're starting to see it. With guys like Mize, with guys like Skubal, with guys like Matt Manning, who comes up and makes his debut in Angel Stadium the other night and throws great. But what I'm most excited about for the Detroit Tigers' future is Spencer Torkelson and Riley Green. These guys coming up through the minors. They've already gotten moved up this year from High A, which is now West Michigan, to Double A Erie, and they're still raking. These guys are going to be really, really good. Look, I know it's taken time for the Tigers, but you can see it now. You can see it. You can start to see it at the big league level, but you can see it in the minor leagues where these guys that are top prospects are performing. And that's all you want, is to see guys perform, to see guys to continue to move up the system, to see guys like Torkelson and Green have success at High A and then get moved and can continue to have success. That's the biggest thing for me, is once they get moved, continuing to have success. Because that could be a big one. Baseball is very mental. You move up to the next level and you try and overperform and you don't do great, and then next thing you know, you're in a funk and you just stay there. These guys are coming, and these guys are coming fast, and they're performing really, really well. And that makes me really excited for the Detroit Tigers' future. Thanks for watching. If you love flipping bats, swinging 3-0, or just talking ball, join us. Call us at 213-537-9339 with your questions. We have a weekly guest, and we have a lot of fun, so hit that subscribe button.